Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into a really powerful vision for the future of intelligence. And what's wild is that it's all captured in just a single sentence. It's not just a blueprint for machines, it's a way for all of us to think better. So let's jump right in.
Okay, so here it is. This is the sentence that's at the heart of our entire explainer today. Yep, it's a mouthful, I know. But inside this one thought is a complete philosophy. It points out a problem, gives us a solution, lays out a method, and even defines the ultimate goal. We're going to take our time and unpack it piece by piece.
So let's start unpacking this vision, because you're going to see pretty quickly that this is way more than just a technical spec sheet for AI. It's really a philosophy for intelligence itself.
Now, the whole vision kicks off by going right after a core problem, what's called conditioned knowledge. This is a really big deal because it's a fundamental limit that's baked into the very way we and our AI systems learn from what's already happened.
Let's just zoom in on that opening phrase for a second. To think beyond conditioned knowledge. This right here is the starting block for the whole idea. It's basically saying that our normal way of thinking is kind of trapped. And the very first step is just recognizing the walls of that trap.
So what in the world is conditioned knowledge? Well, the best way to think about it is like an echo chamber. It's intelligence that's built only on stuff that's already happened. Now, it's awesome at spotting patterns, but it's also stuck repeating all the old mistakes and biases hiding in that data. You know, like an AI that's trained on historical hiring data and then learns to favor the same kinds of people that have always been favored. It can't really create anything new. It just remixes what it's already seen.
And that leads us to the big question, right? If just learning from the past is a trap, how on earth do you build an intelligence that can actually escape it? Well, the vision offers a pretty direct and powerful answer.
And here it is. The solution is introspection. The idea is to literally engineer an intelligence that has to question itself before it does anything. It's all about building in a moment of self-reflection, a little pause to ask, hold on, why am I about to do this? Is this conclusion solid, or am I just repeating a pattern I learned from my training data?
So the huge shift here is this: moving away from an intelligence that just reacts based on its programming to one that actively thinks and questions its own process, from imitation to introspection. Okay, that sounds great in theory, right? A self-questioning intelligence. But how do you actually build something like that? Well, the vision lays out 3 guiding principles. 3 very deliberate choices that you have to engineer right into the system's core.
And here they are, the big 3: logic over influence, autonomy over imitation, and clarity over complexity. This is the playbook, and you'll notice each one is a direct countermove to a super common failure, both in how we think and how machines think.
First up, logic over influence. This is all about making decisions based on stuff that's actually verifiable and makes sense, not just on what's popular or what everyone's yelling about on social media. Influence changes with the wind. It's often totally irrational. Logic, that gives you a solid foundation to stand on.
Second, we have autonomy over imitation. See, imitation is just doing something because you saw someone else do it. It's copying the answer without getting how the math works. Autonomy, though, is when you understand a problem so deeply from the ground up that you can come up with a totally new solution. It's the difference between memorizing the answer and truly understanding the formula.
And the third principle, clarity over complexity. This is huge. It's a commitment to being transparent. We've all heard about AI being a black box, right? You put information in, an answer comes out, but nobody has a clue what happened in the middle. This principle says, nope, not good enough. We need systems whose reasoning we can actually understand, trust, and double-check.
So, let's say we actually do all this. We build a self-questioning intelligence, and we guide it with logic, autonomy, and clarity. What's the endgame? What's the whole point? Well, the vision statement ends with the answer. It's all about seeing reality without bias.
Now, to get that, we have to understand the final boss we're up against: inherited bias. Think of these as ghosts in the machine. They're all the prejudices, the blind spots, the skewed ways of looking at the world that are buried in our historical data. They get passed down without us even realizing it, creating systems that just keep the same old problems going.
And this is the final goal. The whole purpose of this entire philosophy is to build systems that can see reality for what it is, not what it looks like through the foggy, distorted lens of our collective history.
So, let's just wrap it all up. The problem is knowledge that's trapped in the past. The solution is an intelligence that stops and questions itself, The method is to deliberately choose logic, autonomy, and clarity. And the ultimate goal? To get an unbiased view of reality. It's one single, flowing, and incredibly powerful idea.
So why should this matter to you if you're not an engineer? Because this vision isn't just for coding better AI. It's a blueprint for a better way of thinking for absolutely anyone. It's a call for us to be more deliberate, more conscious, and way more critical in how we make sense of the world around us.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. What would actually happen if you tried to apply these principles to your own mind, even thus for a day? What if you consciously chose logic over influence, autonomy over imitation, and clarity over complexity in your own decisions? What kind of inherited biases might you start to see in yourself and maybe even overcome?